I think we should be set up. Boom, baby. We are officially live.
Yes, sir.
We are coming to you live from Medellin, Colombia. Medallo.
Medellin York.
Medellin York. Así le dicen aquí, Medallo. They call it, they call it Medallo, man, parceros. But got some good stuff tonight, guys. I'm coming live with my boy, Omar Chavez. And we wanted to make a quick live stream just to really relish being here in Medellin. I think Medellin is probably one of my favorite cities, man, here in South America.
It's beautiful, yeah, of course.
In Colombia, you got to go to Bogota, right? So
yeah, I saw Bogota, I saw Cartagena. Out of the three, I like Medellin the most, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. Also, like you and I met in Cartagena. That was the first time we met, and it was it's pretty fun, man.
Cartagena was wild. It was a little dangerous, but it was
a little dangerous, but we had a good time, man. But so based on the three cities, what do you think is the biggest differences, man? Like Bogota, Medellin?
For sure, Cartagena is real touristy, a little more shifty. You gotta kind of be more aware of your surroundings there. It's a little more dangerous. You know, we actually had a friend that you got a shit stolen, right? So you gotta be careful there. Bogota is a very intellectual city. A lot of universities there. The women there are they're more smarter.
Really?
Yeah, they're definitely smarter girls. they're not gonna, you know, they're not in it for the money and shit. They're good girls there, but it's a big city, a lot of traffic, and Medellin. To me, it's like other than being just geographically well located with perfect altitude, so the weather's amazing.
Yeah,
the hills look amazing. The most beautiful women in the world are here in Medellin.
the weather's here pretty nice too.
Yeah,
right?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so they call like Cartagena, they're costeños, Medellin, paisas, parceros, and then Bogota is rolos.
Rolos.
Yeah. Okay. And what I hear the most about Bogota is that it's like a colder climate over there. Is that true?
Oh yeah, it was cold, dude. It got to the 50s at night.
Really?
Damn. Yeah, it got to the 50s at night for sure. Yeah. And, yeah.
So prettiest girls, bro. Like from the three of them, how would you rank them with the prettiest girls?
Medellin for sure.
Number one?
Yeah. Cartagena's number two, and Bogota's number three. Cartagena's cool because it's like a Miami for the States, right? You get a lot of tourists that go there.
Yeah. So
you're gonna meet a lot of people from all over the world. Like when we were there, we met girls from Mexico, from Chile.
It's from everywhere, bro.
From everywhere.
Yeah. The girls that we were hanging out with the most were from Barranquilla and from Cali.
Oh yeah, from Cali.
Yeah, cool girls. But all right, man. So man, I know you. Like you're a really good friend. Like we got really close after the bachelor party.
Yeah.
And you know, like it was cool, like meeting a lot of Fossil's friends, but just like meeting you guys, all of y'all were badass, bro. Like just. It's just, you know, I think we're all like kind of like-minded.
Hey, man, it's because guys are easy, dog.
Yeah,
guys. Guys have all like things that are in common all the time, which is gonna be women, probably working out,
training,
drinking. You know, at
business.
You know, money. Like every guy is into that.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's why we got along so well right away, just from the get-go.
Yeah, because. It's funny because when I met Fausto was one of our mutual friends, really good friend. Shout out to my boy Fausto. But when I met Fausto, he went to A&M, and you know I went to U of H.
Yeah,
and that shit fucking broke my heart, bro.
Oh, for real?
Like, yeah, it broke my heart because I thought he was gonna come with me, man. But it worked out, man. Like it worked out because he went over there. He met you guys.
Yeah,
everyone got cool.
Yeah,
and then like we're all kind of like-minded, you know. Like you know, it's the Mexican American. Went to college, got educated, started our own path in our careers, and now we're doing our own thing. We get to travel. We're enjoying like the fruits of our labor.
Yeah,
and it's been pretty nice. Like, you know, we're over here in Medellin. We're out here. We're really out here in Colombia, man. Yeah. Like, see these views out here. You're having a good time, bro. Like, we had dinner last night at a really nice restaurant. We went out, met some girls. So, like, we're actually like living the life, bro. Like, this is shit that I used to think about, like when I was in college studying and shit. Staying up all nighters. I was like, man, one day, like, we're gonna be out here traveling, doing
all
something.
All-nighters worth it, man.
Yeah.
So it takes time to get here, though. You know, it's a lot of kids don't see the value in college anymore, or further education of some kind. But think about it. you're 30, I'm 29. It took us at least 10 years to get to this point. You know, coming from high school, it's like it takes time to get here.
Facts, man. Because if you reflect in retrospect, like in college, I couldn't be out here doing this, man. I was fucking broke.
Hell no, man. I was broke as shit. My car got declined at least 3 or 4 times.
Hell yeah, man. Like
most embarrassing shit.
Yeah, it would have been a bitch trying to be out here, but
yeah.
So you know, everybody on my channel already kind of knows my story. You know, I went to school at Houston, Texas. I studied at MIS. I did IT. That's kind of where I work in right now. Do YouTube on the side, but like I know you very well. But for the people that don't know you, if you can just kind of give us like a quick, you know, background on you, like what you study, where you went to school, and like what are you kind of currently doing right now?
Yeah, sure thing. So I'm from Dallas. I grew up in Dallas. I went to Texas A&M. I actually was able to get mostly full ride scholarship because of, you know, working hard in high school. Towards the end, I lost some scholarships. My GPA just dipped a little bit. Had too much fun, but my mom helped me out with that. Thank God.
I was there too, man. Yeah.
I studied biological and agricultural engineering.
Okay.
I had the idea to go into, you know, environmental engineering, water resources. I wanted to work for the EPA.
Nice.
Well, that didn't work out. After graduating from college, I spent a summer driving for Lyft there in Dallas, like 3 months. And finally, my boy Gilbert, you know Gilbert, he called me up. He was like, "Hey, Honeywell's hiring if you're down." I only knew Honeywell, you know, because of the thermostats and stuff. But yeah, it turns out, you know,
he started at Honeywell.
He started at Honeywell. Yeah. He got me in there, doing what I do today, which is control systems engineering.
Nice.
That's what I do now. And it's a job that has a lot of flexibility. I travel a lot.
Nice.
I travel a lot to the south, southeast, to refineries and plants all over the country. And it gives me flexibility in that I can, you know, I can go to wherever I want to on the weekends, essentially, because I don't really have a home base.
Yeah.
So I get to travel a lot, see a lot of shitty places, honestly, though.
Like the refineries?
Yeah, like buttfuck nowhere, Alabama, stuff like that. Stuff like that. That's my 9 to 5. My 5 to 9, I'm a real estate investor. To this point, I have 4 properties.
Nice.
2 in Dallas, 2 in Houston. So that's my 5 to 9 and my weekend job, because, you know, you're responsible for a lot of things when you're a real estate investor. They tell you passive income is the key to, you know, to freedom.
Yeah.
But it takes work. It definitely takes work. It's not easy.
Yeah, I bet, man. And that's before we continue, bro, like on your mic, it's to try to like point it forward just to make sure like there it is.
Okay.
Yeah, just to make sure the audios are good. But then on that point right there, bro, so how'd you get into real estate? Was this something that your family kind of started in the beginning, and you know they kind of like passed on the torch to you? Or, and the reason why I asked is like just like for younger guys out here that are considering getting into real estate, because I think that, you know, you want to have your primary source of income, right? Especially if you're starting from like we did, immigrant parents. You know, we're learning the American system, getting educated, going to school, getting high level skills to get paid more. I think that's a great way to start, but eventually you want to start doing something on the side. You don't want to just kind of just stay stuck in just your 9 to 5, and that's just what you're used to. I think the strategy that you are doing is perfect, so you can start building that passive income for the future. So what I'm thinking about is like the younger guys that want to get into real estate in the future someday, they don't really know how to start and get into it. Do you think it's like the way? How was it for you? Did you get in with your parents? Like first they started investing into properties. Did you start saving money first and just like build a reserve of cash, and then started investing into properties? But how do you think is like the best way to get started?
Let me say first, my dad owns four rental properties. We're 3 rental properties in his primary home. So growing up, I saw him really like, you know, bust his ass to get those properties. I saw him, you know, work a lot.
Yeah.
Painting on the weekends, fixing shit all the time. And I didn't really understand it at the time. I was like, okay, like why would you want to put that burden on yourself to have more responsibility, right? But then shortly after college, I read a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. It talked about, you know, passive income, that idea of generating cash flow. And it kind of clicked for me what my dad was doing, like why he was doing it. now that he's retired, I see it even more. I'm pretty sure he's a millionaire at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
Because he has 4 paid off properties.
Mm-hmm.
But it's different. Being a millionaire doesn't mean that you live like a millionaire. Like, he's not flashy at all. He's a very financially savvy man, I'll say. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you can say he's cheap even.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw that growing up, and so when I started finally making money, that's important too. You got to have a degree that's valuable to be able to have some money to do this.
Yeah, for sure.
But when I first got my job, I definitely spent 2 or 3 months just partying, bro. Because like, I never had money before in my life.
Yeah, you're enjoying it, man.
Yeah, you enjoyed it. But then I started listening to a podcast called Bigger Pockets. In addition to this book Rich Dad Poor Dad.
So the Green, right? What's his name?
Yeah, David Green. David Green. He's one of the hosts on there.
Yeah, he has a really good book called Pillars of Wealth.
Pillars of Wealth.
Yeah,
I read Set for Life by Brandon Turner.
Okay.
Set for Life by Brandon Turner. That's actually a book I recommend any young
Set for Life
young person out there read. Set for Life. It's not Brandon Turner, it's someone else. But anyways, you should. The book is Set for Life.
Yeah, I'll link it in the description in the bottom.
And it kind of gives you a little bit of a roadmap. So with real estate, the more time in the market is the better you're going to do. Mm-hmm. So what I tell people is buy whatever you can as soon as you can. Mm-hmm. For me, after college, I worked for a year and I bought my first house in Houston for $150,000 in Jersey Village. Mm-hmm. You can't find that anymore anywhere, Yeah. It needed work, but over 2 years, I fixed it up myself. Now it's worth maybe $250,000.
Nice.
So what I would say, someone out there is, save at least 25% of your income.
Yeah.
And over time, maybe a year, maybe 2 years, you'll have enough to buy your first property. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't have to be something flashy. I actually recommended something that's needs some work. Yeah. So you can build in that sweat equity, right? So you can fix it up yourself, and then it'll gain 30, 40, 50 grand in equity. Mm-hmm.
So getting started with it, man, do you think is there like a good sweet spot of having cash on hand in case you do need you run into issues with repairs or you need to fix anything? Do you think there's like a good sweet spot, maybe like 30K, 40K you have available in case something happens? Or what would you recommend to have in the bank?
For that, I follow Dave Ramsey's principle of 3 to 6 months of your personal expenses in the bank account. So before you even get to that, you got to know what you spend per month. Yeah. For me personally, I realized on essentials, I'll spend maybe about $3,000 a month. Yeah. So I wanted to have 10 grand in the bank account just as emergency savings, right? Because shit happens all the time. So I would say have maybe it's 10 grand, 3 to 6 months of expenses. For me, it was 10 grand. Have that in a savings account, a high yield savings account, getting maybe 4 or 5% in interest. Yeah. And then start saving up for a real estate investment. Mm-hmm. And the thing with that is like you're gonna be paying a mortgage, but you're not paying rent anymore, right? So you're kind of like it's forcing you to save money. Because you're building equity into your house. Your house becomes your piggy bank in a way.
Okay, so you say like around 10,000
for yourself, right? And then to buy the actual property, you really only need 3.5% down for FHA loan, plus let's say 2%, 3% for closing costs. You really only need 6 to 7% of the property price to buy it, right? So if it's $200,000. You would need maybe $14,000 to buy the house.
Okay, so on that FHA loan topic, do you think that's like probably one of the best routes to start off as your first home? You want to get one of those FHA loans? I think there's also another one that there was like Section 8, bro, like Section 8 housing.
Section 8, Section 8 are a voucher program. Yeah. So that's talking more about investor side. The way Section 8 works is like you have the more bedrooms you have in your property, the higher value voucher you can get for it. Okay. So for example, 4-bedroom might be 2,000, 5-bedroom might be 2,500.
Yeah.
So in Section 8 rental properties, the key there is to add bedrooms to it.
Yeah.
But you have to rent that out. What I would say to people who are buying their first property is buy something that you're gonna live in.
Mm-hmm.
Which FHA loans are only for if you're gonna live in there, for owner occupied.
Yeah, like you have your own room and you might rent other rooms out.
Exactly, which is called house hacking.
Mm-hmm.
So they call that
house hacking. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you think there's FHA loan? Is there a difference between that and a traditional loan?
Yeah, the FHA is a little more stringent. I'll say that. It's sometimes it's harder to.
It has like requirements.
It has certain requirements. More paperwork. It's more paperwork.
Okay.
Actually, a lot of conventional lenders will have loans starting at 3% that aren't FHA. They don't require the same regulations, the same documents, same bullshit.
Yeah.
But you can still get the same 3% loan. Mm-hmm. A lot of times you do need to have a lower income, maybe. So there are first-time homeowner programs.
Yeah.
That help you out a lot. The most conventional loans, like I've gotten conventional loans for owner occupied, they're going to be at 5%. So in that case, you need 5% for down payment, 2%, 3% for closing costs. So you're going to need 8% of the final purchase price in cash.
Yeah. So like going back to what you studied in college, like it makes sense to try to go for a high paying degree, try to stack up on your skills.
Yeah.
Make as much money as you can so you can invest that into your business, right?
For sure, for
real estate. I think that's one thing that like I try to tell a lot of tell the guys that follow me on the channel is that you want to maximize your career. Don't go to college for fucking a liberal arts degree, some bullshit degree that you graduate.
Don't go to college for a hobby.
Yeah. You come out with debt and it's like you can't land a job and it just gets difficult. But I think like going into any of the STEM field where you go to science, technology, engineering, mathematics,
for sure,
you can land a high paying skill and it never stops after you graduate. You're still learning. Like I'm still going for certificates myself in technology. It's always like you're trying to get certified, you're trying to keep stacking skills and keep growing so you can get more cash flow to invest it into your real estate, into your whatever venture you're going into. But I guess I think that's a really good starting point, man. Like you made a lot of good points of how to get into real estate. So now at this point you have 3 properties? Four properties.
Yeah.
And you started off with one.
Started off with one in Houston. My second I bought in Dallas.
Have you noticed a difference like between the markets in Houston and Dallas? Like a big difference, or what's the biggest difference?
Dallas moves faster.
Really?
Dallas moves a little faster. Dallas is a little more expensive also. Yeah.
Okay. So you got one, and then you went to Dallas. You got 2 over there, 3 over there.
Yeah, I did one in Houston, one in Dallas, another one in Dallas, a condo, and then my 4th one that I just bought in March in Houston, 2nd ward in Houston.
Very nice, very nice. So very nice, man. So switching it up a little bit here in Colombia, man. Like, what's been like comparing like the U.S. Colombia? What's been like the biggest differences as far as like the lifestyle?
Yeah.
Like the day-to-day, the girls, the dating scene. What's been like your biggest takeaways? What do you like the most about Colombia? What do you dislike about it? Comparing it to the U.S.
Man, Colombia. I think if I'm being real, I think it's like we have higher value here because we have American money, like we have American salaries.
Yeah.
So like shit is cheap.
Yeah.
Yesterday we went out to a bougie ass place for drinks. Fucking, they were making us fucking ayahuasca drinks and shit.
We're getting high with those drinks.
We're getting high with these drinks and shit, and like
very good, man.
In the States, that'd be $30 a drink, easy.
Yeah.
For here, it was 13, 14, something like that. And so, you can get a good meal for $10, easy.
For sure.
And
everything's a lot cheaper down here.
Everything's a lot cheaper, and the women, to me, they seem easier to approach. I don't know if it's just in the States.
I think there's so many of them here.
Yeah.
Like anywhere you go, man. Like you go to the corner store. You go to the mall.
The grocery store.
You go to the grocery store.
Hey, man, tell that story about the grocery store, man.
Yeah, so today, like, we went to the grocery store. We went to go pick up a bottle. Because we were going to buy some girls over later on. So we're gonna pregame, got some bottles, but yeah, we went, and then I got to the cashier, to the register, and the girl that like she was attending me, she was like, I just noticed, bro, like off rip, like the way she was looking at me, she gave me like that look, you know,
that look, boy,
that look says it all, bro. It's like Scarface, it says the ice chico, they never lie. Yeah, dude. So I went up. I went up to her and I was like, yeah, so what's up? And I saw her and I started like giving her some small talk. I just asked her where she was from. She's Venezuelan. And then
she was bad. She's bad.
She's cute. She looked cutie, bro. Got her number. Then after that, I was like, let me get your number, see if we can hang out later on today or maybe sometime in the future. She gave it to me. She's like, she had to wait to like, check some more people out, and then she had to write it down.
Yeah, that was slick, man.
She gave me the.
I was real old school. She wrote down her number too, like it was the '90s or something.
Yeah, that was dope, man. That was dope. She seemed pretty cool. So we'll see what happens there, but yeah, I feel the same way, man. I feel like there's just more girls here. It's like more girls everywhere that you go, and there's a lot of like very attractive girls here. For sure. I think it also has its cons, but comparing it to the U.S., it's like in the U.S., it's rare when you see so many girls like that. Like maybe when I go to Los Angeles, I think LA has probably some of the cutest girls too. Houston as well, but it's certain areas in Houston, like Galleria area, when you go to the malls. But so I guess what would you say are the cons of Colombia, like being over here? Is there anything that you kind of like, I kind of miss the States for this reason? Or
damn, I don't know. Cons of Colombia. Looking out.
I can tell you my cons of here.
What's that?
Like one of my biggest cons is that I feel like since there's a lot of guys coming here, it's kind of inflating like the market a little bit. Kind of like we're dropping it back to the economy, man. It's like inflating girls' egos a little bit because there's so many American guys, so many Western guys from Canada, from Europe. So like the dating is not. There was a good podcast I saw from Andrew Tate, man. He was saying something along the lines of like there's a lot of girls to date here, but it's a lot more difficult to find a girl that you can marry here because like a lot of like it's hard to find a girl that you can take serious here. Like okay, this is a girl that you can potentially be with long term.
Hear that about Colombian girls?
Here in Medellin.
Oh, really?
In Medellin, yeah.
Oh shit.
Because there's so many guys here, bro. Like so many guys come, and it's like a lot of girls. Like there's a lot of guys trying to get at them. So it's a little more difficult, Yeah. You can find a girl that's okay, like you can settle down with. She's a cool girl. I think right here is just like you're just here to have fun, bro. It's not really. But I mean, you could potentially meet a girl that's like okay. You can take it seriously, more of a long-term relationship, but I think it's more difficult because there's just so many people here, and it's like that vibe. Like it's kind of like a Miami. Like you know how like they say like it's exactly like a Miami where
like a cheap Miami.
It's like a cheaper version of Miami. So, but
the girls are just as bad.
Yeah,
just as bad.
They're cute, man. There's a lot of cute girls here. I think like Las Paisas. Like there's probably the cutest girls in Colombia.
Oh yeah.
So you don't got any cons of like Medellin?
I think the only con I can think of is sometimes it's kind of sad how capitalism takes over. Capitalism's undefeated, of course, but just to think that Colombians that live here, that are from here, they can't live in the best part of their own cities. And that's why I tell people to invest in real estate because. If you were to have bought an apartment before it popped off like this, like it is today, the equity gain would have been crazy.
Like in this area, Polo.
Yeah. And now people they can't even afford to live here anymore.
But do you think it's like a capitalism issue, like, or do you think it's like a Colombia issue? Like the government of Colombia doesn't know how to orchestrate more business for the country. Like it's kind of like for example, like a Haiti or like a Cuba. Like they don't know how to bring in business into the country to have more tourists, or they don't really know how to set up the infrastructure to build more business.
Here. I guess it could be the government thing. I think with that actually, it's about education.
Yeah,
it all starts with education. If your people get educated, they get better jobs. They're more industrious.
Mm-hmm.
They build businesses, right?
Yeah.
The States has the best universities in the world.
Yeah.
Best colleges in the world from the States. And so I think that's probably the biggest factor to the United States' success is like it really believes in educating its people.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And I think like that's you made a really good point earlier about like just feeling more high value when you start to travel.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think the United States system, we have one of the strongest currency in the world, so it makes it easier. Like if you leave the country, you can go to other places. You can go to even Mexico on the south. If you want to start off somewhere local, close, you can go to Mexico, have a better lifestyle down there, and then when we start getting down here to South America, it just really changes. But it's just like the foreign transaction credit cards. That's a good way to start off.
You gotta have your Chase Sapphire.
You gotta have it, man. Yeah, that's my favorite. That's one of my favorite ones, bro.
Hell yeah.
What are your top 5? Like, do you have like
top 5 credit cards?
Yeah, that you like to use when you're traveling, or?
Well, I have the Chase Sapphire for travel. I have a Chase Freedom for just points.
Yeah, I use that one too.
I have a Chase Business Unlimited for everyday business spending.
Yeah. And
I have another Chase Business card, Business Inc. For bigger business purchases, like so the unlimited I'll use for utilities and stuff like that are recurring monthly, and the Business Inc. I'll use for like I gotta put in new gutters, something like that.
Does it have an annual fee?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. It does. But the fees, in my opinion, are worth it because I actually came here for free.
Yeah, the points.
I use the points exactly. I use the points.
Yeah, because I have friends like. I have a couple friends. It's because there's two camps, bro. There's people that don't like to use credit cards. The Dave Ramseys.
The Dave Ramseys.
And then there's like the Robert Kiyosaki's. You want to use points accumulated. I'm on this side.
That is good. Yeah.
When it comes to credit, because you're gonna be spending that money anyways.
Yeah.
You're gonna be spending on food. You're gonna be spending on rent. You're gonna be spending on utilities, expenses. So you're going to be spending. So might as well accumulate points that you can use in the future.
You gotta have a discipline though.
Yeah, for
it
sure.
all comes back to discipline.
Yeah,
you gotta be disciplined enough to be like, hey, I'm gonna stay under budget, right? So I can pay the credit card off at the end of the month.
Yeah,
because if you can't pay it off at the end of the month, you're fucked. 20% fees.
Yeah, it's like a doesn't look like in Spanish. El dicho que es una espada, una espada de doble filo. So it's a sword that is sharp from both sides. It can help you,
double-edged
sword, or that motherfucker could cut you.
Yep.
Yeah. And this is using credit the right way. But I think if you really know how to use credit, because the reason the way credit cards are so effective is because there's one side of people that don't know how to use them. And they can't pay the fees.
They're not disciplined.
They're not disciplined to use them. And the people that know how to use them, they really maximize the points, the benefits, the protection that you get, the insurance that comes from a lot of credit cards. And yeah, even if you have an annual fee, it's worth it because it at the end of the day it does return benefits. But yeah, man. So I guess wrapping up, we're gonna head out tonight. We're gonna have a good time. We got some girls coming over later.
Yes, sir.
But just to wrap up the video, man, like what do you got planned for the future? You thinking of traveling? What do you like about traveling? What's next for you, bro?
Man, it's crazy that I'm even here. Honestly, I was supposed to have surgery on my knee, ACL repair last week, so that got pushed back, and now I was able to come here because I bought this flight in February, thinking I was gonna come no matter what, and then I got hurt, so I needed surgery. But thank God, thank the universe, they pushed this back, so I was able to come this week, right?
Nice.
And also because of this surgery, I'll have 4 months off of work.
I'm glad you came, bro.
Hey, man.
I made the trip badass, man.
I'm glad I came too, bro.
Bro.
It's been a badass trip.
Yeah.
But now that I have time off of work, once I can walk again, maybe about a month after my surgery, I really want to travel. I want to travel to Mexico, to Peru.
What's your next spot? Mexico, Peru.
It's Peru. I have a trip planned for Mexico already, Mexico City.
Okay,
in
cool.
July, 4th of July weekend. After that, I'm gonna look at flights and see where.
Probably be in Peru around that time, man. If you want to come through.
Lima, you said?
Most likely Lima.
Lima. That's the next move, they say.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
Nothing is set in stone, but I think Lima is looking looking pretty good right now.
I'd love to go, man. I'd
Yeah.
love to go.
And then we hit up this Machu Picchu, bro.
Machu Picchu, we can
Right
hike.
there with a fucking llama. Riding a llama. That was yeah, man. That's cool, man. Omar, I really appreciate it, bro.
Hey, man.
It's always a fucking pleasure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hanging out. We're gonna have a good time. We thought we were gonna get some dinner, but guys, we are out. Stay strong, stay relentless, and keep on conquering. Peace.
Oh,
Good shit, man.